युधितुरगरजो 𝗍लुलिताश्रमवार्यलङ्कृतास्ये मम निशितशरै विभिद्यमान 𝗙ci 𝗪𝗆𝗆𝗆 कृष्ण आत्मा।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। Bhisma Stuti, 3rd shloka, given in Srimad Bhagavatam 1st canto, 9th chapter and text 34. Now here Bhisma Dev says, Yudhi, Srila Prabhupada writes, on the battlefield, Bhisma Dev is in chivalrous relation or Yudh Veer Bhakti Ras with the Lord, and hence he fixes up his mind in that situation, in the battlefield. Now he says, Yudhi Turag Rajah Vidhumra Vishwak Kach Lulit. Turag, horses, and Raj means the dust raised by the hooves of the horses. Vidhumra Vishwak, Srila Prabhupada writes, Vidhumra has turned the black hair of Lord Shri Krishna into ashen grey. Thus, Bhisma Dev is focusing on the transcendental beauty of the Lord. Now, the point here to note is that in the war of the millennium, where several lakhs of soldiers are fighting, and there is all chaos going on, there is noise all around, and Bhisma Dev here, Lord Shri Krishna is racing towards Bhisma Dev with chariot wheel in his hand, and to kill him. And Bhisma Dev is not praying for his life, or he is not praying for his liberation. He is glorifying. He is trying to glorify Lord Shri Krishna, his transcendental beauty. He is visualizing the dust. He is the insignificant dust, raised by the hooves of the horses. When being connected with Lord Shri Krishna, they are appearing as ornaments on his face. And he says that Shramvari Alankritasya. Asya, Srila Prabhupada writes that unto the face, that because of the labor put on by Lord Shri Krishna, the beads of the sweat which appeared on his face, they were appearing like sandalwood, that paintings of sandalwood paste on his face. So these were decorating, these were enhancing his transcendental beauty. And these decorations, so Bhisma Dev says, these decorations intensified by the wounds caused on his body by his sharpened arrows. So they were actually being enjoyed by Lord Shri Krishna. Now this is a sort of bewilderment for a non-devotee atheist who is on the material platform, while here Lord Shri Krishna, he is absolute. His body is non-different from his spiritual identity, his Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. And hence, the wounds on his body, Srila Prabhupada writes that there was no point, there is no possibility of causing pain to Lord Shri Krishna. So this bewilderment is for the non-devotee, while for a liberated soul, this is a exchange of transcendental love, like in the case of Bhisma Dev. So here Bhisma Dev is thus glorifying Lord Shri Krishna, but simultaneously Srila Prabhupada writes that when he says Mama Nishita Sharair Vibidyamana. Now he says that my sharp arrows, they are piercing his body. 𝗙ci 𝗪𝗆𝗆𝗆 𝗪𝗆𝗆𝗆. But simultaneously he is repenting. because he is in the mood of servitude, and he says that what kind of a servant I am, that although I know that he is Supreme Lord and he is not suffering pain, but what kind of a servant I am, that I am shooting arrows towards his body. So that's why he is feeling the repentation. He is repenting. He is considering that he has committed an offense against the Lord, thus teaching by his own example that a devotee in a mood of servitude is always remains subordinate to the Lord and never tries to enjoy with the Lord. He considers all the possibilities that his master should not get any anxiety from his side, and in fact he is always ready to take up the anxiety of his master. So this Bhishmadev teaches us. And further he says, in fact Bhishmadev appreciates the all merciful attitude of the Lord, because here Bhishmadev, he says when Shri Krishna is racing towards Bhishmadev to kill him, then he says that he is not racing towards him to kill him. The very fact that he is coming towards the devotee, that is the all mercy aspect of the Lord. The Lord coming towards the devotee, this is the mercy of the Lord, and he considers the merciful aspect of Lord Shri Krishna. And he also says, which Srila Prabhupada also writes, that Lord Shri Krishna did not leave Arjuna in the middle of the battlefield when he was braving the arrows on his own body, and he was apparently it was causing him pain, discomfort. So at that moment also Lord Shri Krishna, he remained the charioteer of Arjuna. And also because he was not reluctant to come before Bhishmadev deathbed, although Bhishma apparently ill-treated Lord Shri Krishna in the battlefield. So this is the all merciful aspect of the Lord Shri Krishna being depicted here. And here Srila Prabhupada also mentions about a great Acharya, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, a great Acharya and a devotee in a humor of conjugal love with the Lord, or a Rasik Acharya. So there Srila Prabhupada writes that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he remarks this, that the very wounds caused by the sharp arrows of Bhishmadev, they were actually as pleasing to the Lord as the biting of a fiancé, as the biting injuries caused by the opposite sex. So this is an exchange of transcendental pleasure actually. While in the material world, where body is different from the soul, and body suffers all the wounds and bruises and suffers pain, in the case of Lord, the attitude of the devotee, the feelings of the devotee is more important. And in fact the Lord's body is same as his spiritual identity, and hence there was no question of experiencing pain by the Lord in this case. And that's why actually Srila Prabhupada writes this in the very beginning of the purport of this shlok. Srila Prabhupada writes that whatever is offered to the Lord in genuine love and affection, Srila Prabhupada writes, whatever we offer to the Lord in genuine love and affection is graciously accepted by the Lord. This is pure devotion. Srila Prabhupada also writes elsewhere in Bhagavatam only, that Krishna is very responsive. He is not just responsive, he is very responsive. Ye yatha mam prapatate tam sathaiv bhajami aham. So as whatever feelings we have towards Lord Shri Krishna, similar feelings Lord Shri Krishna will reciprocate, and immediately, very responsive. So this is the relationship of servitude of Bhishmadev towards Lord Shri Krishna. And thus Srila Prabhupada also brings out this point that so we can learn from the example of Bhishmadev that worship of Supreme Lord is possible in every situation. Now as a householder we can say that we do not have time to do puja, or we do not have time to remember God, we are busy in our own lives. But here Bhishmadev, he is in the middle of the battlefield, he is a pure devotee, and hence every time when he is shooting an arrow towards Lord Shri Krishna, he is, Srila Prabhupada writes, it is non-different as another devotee who is throwing roses upon the Supreme Lord. So this was the attitude of Lord Bhishmadev. This we have to appreciate, and this we have to imbibe in our lives. From this shlok we learn this thing, and further shlokas we will be discussing in our further videos. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.